Well, Election Day is just about 4 weeks away, and there are some real indications this weekend that come November 7th, the Mark Foley sex scandal could dramatically change the political landscape. A new Newsweek poll shows Democrats are surpassing Republicans on a range of issues, including some longtime GOP strengths. Joining us from the Bureau in Atlanta is syndicated talk show host Mike Malloy and radio talk show host Steve Malzberg is here in studio. Great to see you both today.
Hi.
All right, so moral values.
Contessa.
Republicans have a long-held advantage on this issue. But if we take a look at the Newsweek poll, whom do you trust on moral values? A majority, 42%, say Democrats. 36% say Republicans. Hey, traditionally, this is a real Republican winner. So, Steve, how much of this is because of the Foley scandal?
Well, how much of it is because of the media coverage of what the so-called Foley scandal? There's one congressman here who sent emails, and I don't want to get into the whole minutia of the story. The fact of the matter is that congressman is out. So what does the media look at? Oh, what did Foley know and when did he know it? Yet in the past, when the Democrats have been involved with Barney Frank having a homosexual prostitute ring being run out of his apartment, or Jerry Franks being censured for his affair with the page,
Steve,
the media didn't care.
Excuse me, I'm going to cut you off there because you're talking about old news.
Oh, excuse me, you got to put it in perspective, Contessa.
Wait, excuse me. I want to just say that there have been wrongdoing on both sides, sex scandals on both sides, where Republican and Democrats have even had sex with pages. We're talking about the scandal right now. So, Mike, look, Steve brings up a good point. Why are so many
Why'd you cut me off if it's a good point?
Excuse me, I'm the host. I can cut you off when and where I want.
For a good point? That's
Mike,
interesting.
Wow.
That's interesting.
I feel like I'm taking on Mike's stance here. Mike, why is it that Democrats are just ganging up and piling on for Republicans when so many of these local politicians don't have anything to do with Mark Foley or the chain of command in terms of the leadership in the House?
Well, Contessa, in the first place, I don't think this is a Mark Foley scandal or congressional scandal. This is a Republican scandal. And I think the reason Steve is laughing and foaming at the mouth is because he knows this is a Republican scandal. Mark Foley was allowed to do this. The way was eased for him a couple of years ago when Tom DeLay made sure no legislation was passed that would protect children and women who were being sent to the North Mariana Islands. Oh, Steve, shut up, man.
I beg your pardon. Can you control yourself? I know you're a liberal. You don't have to call names or get vulgar.
No, let Mike finish.
Sure, maybe he'll tell me to shut up again.
When Tom DeLay passed legislation or prevented legislation from being passed, it would have protected women and children who were being sent from South Asia to the North Mariana Islands to work for American corporations. Now, the legislation
this is on point, Contessa. This is really on point. This is really what we're talking about.
The kind of sexual exploitation that Mark Foley and all Republicans get involved in.
All right, so
it's. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Steve, I mean, the bigger question is, it does seem, regardless of how you want to say, let's look at the historical background here. Right now, Republicans have a big job on their hands, and that job is to win back the confidence of the American people.
And you know how they do that?
Well, how?
They point out that if the Democrats come to power, you're going to have Harry Reid in charge of the Senate, who said, we killed the Patriot Act, and who said English as the national language is racist. John Murtha would be the majority leader, who said our troops are cold-blooded killers. Dick Durbin would get a committee chairmanship, who said our soldiers are like Nazis. Charlie Rangel would cut off funding and raid for the war and race taxes.
Let me ask
That's
you this.
What we have to point out.
This Newsweek poll is also pointing out that most Americans now think the Democrats would do a better job leading the war on terror than the Republicans do. I mean, they've lost some real basic ground here on moral values, on the war on terror. How do they bounce back?
They just play the Democrats in their own words. Every quote I just said to you is on tape. Play back the tape. Let those be the commercials. Let the people see what they will get in the leadership if the Democrats win.
Mike, I'll give you the last word here.
Well, this is so typical. There's no reason for my being here, Contessa. Steve Malzberg is hanging himself and the entire Republican Party every time he opens his mouth. This hyena-like laughing, Steve, doesn't help you.
Keep calling the names. You're a liberal. You're proving my point more and more, my friend.
Well, Contessa, I really don't need to be here. I mean, I'll stick around for the next segment. But what Malzberg is doing is what Republicans always do. They never take responsibility.
Tell the truth.
Ever. It's always somebody else's fault.
I'm quoting Democrats, my friend.
It's the Democrats, it's the media, it's Clinton,
no,
it's
the
Hillary,
Democrats'
it's
own
God,
words.
Mike
it's
Malloy,
the devil,
Steve
it's
Malzberg.
demons.
Sometimes I feel like I don't need to be here either, but then they remind me. I get paid to do this, so gentlemen, thanks.